part two, where we're finishing up our ribs. It's been 1 hour since I put them on the smoker. So now I've got to take them off the grill and we're going to wrap them in tin foil. But first, let me go grab my stand so that you can see what I'm doing. Hope you guys had a nice break. Thanks for being here. What a day. I'm having a great day. I hope you are too. Oh, the turtles just, I've got to show you the turtles real quick, okay? They're so cute. Can you see them? The one of the turtles is super skittish. He jumped, as soon as I come outside, he jumped in the water. Can you hear me okay? How are you doing still? All right, so I've got my stand now. I can come out here and get these ribs off here. I'm glad you're having a good day. And I'm glad you're doing okay. All right, let's get this. Hi, Cookie, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a professional rib cooker. I usually buy pre-seasoned ribs that already come with the membrane taken off. But my guy, I sent him to the grocery store, and of course he was trying to be thrifty. I don't know, he said he couldn't find the other kind, so I'm going to believe him. But these ones were a lot cheaper to buy 3 that weren't seasoned without the membrane. So I haven't seasoned them on my own. So we're experimenting today. So if you watch the previous stream, you will see that we experimented with the different seasonings. My man, he will go to the supermarket for me. I'll have to say that it's pretty unusual for someone he's out and about and he's in town, he'll be like, do you need anything before I come home? And he'll always ask if I need something for the yard, the house, or whatever, which is really thoughtful. And a lot of people don't have that, and I think sometimes I take it for granted. I'm like, of course I don't need anything. I have everything I need. But that's the wrong attitude. It's like, I appreciate that someone is thoughtful enough that will say, what do you need? And I'll go get it. I do most of the shopping, but he will get odd and ends. And if I were to give him a list and send him to the store, he would do it for me. He would call me 10 times because I know where everything's at. But it's the thought that, for me, the thought counts. All right, so I'm going to leave this camera set up right here for just a second, guys. Gotta go grab my apron because I don't want to get stuff on my shirt. So hold on 1 second. Meant to grab both at the same time. So if you guys missed the first part of my stream earlier, I'm going to get down where I can see you. If you missed the first part of my stream, we put the seasoning on, we put butter on them, and then we put butter on, we took the membrane, let's back up. We took the membrane off of the ribs, and I use a fillet knife because I'm not strong enough to rip it off myself. There's a technique to it that I haven't mastered yet. Then I dipped it in butter. You can use oil, you can use avocado oil or different type of things to coat the outside. And supposedly the reason for that is it allows the seasonings to stick to the outside, from what I understand. And it kind of holds the moisture of the juice inside. So then we season them, and then we put them on the smoker for 1 hour. And my smoker smokes at 60 degrees, and I'm sure that there's other smokers that smoke at different degrees, but that's the way my smoker works. And I love this smoker. It's a Pit Boss, not sponsored by anybody, but this is just what I use. And it's been an amazing grill. It hasn't let me down. So anyway, so now we're gonna take the ribs off. We're gonna go take them inside, and we are going to wrap them in tin foil, and then we're gonna put them back on the grill. But I'm gonna raise the temperature to 225 for 1 hour. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna check back, and then I've got the pond liner stuff is ready to dry. So after that, we're gonna go out and put the pond liner on the upper pond to seal all of the leaks, so that I can get it cleaned out and get all the rocks set up. So that eventually I can show you the rest of my flowers planted around there, and get the fish and everything moved to the upper pond from the lower pond. And I'll be able to show you how cool the waterfall is. So you see these ribs on here are looking really good. Let's move this a little closer. It's kind of, the sun's hitting it just right. So you see, they're a nice slab of meat. So we got 3 of these ribs for, I think it was $26. And I don't know how much meat this is, but to me it looks like a ton. So we're gonna take it. So I've got 2 different, so we're experimenting with flavors. So the 2 on the back are the same flavor. I wasn't sure if any of the juice would leak. So I'm gonna put them on the tray first, and then I'll put the other one. We're doing 3 experimental flavors, and we're gonna see which one everyone likes the best. So it's got a good, that seasoning is on there really good. So I'm gonna take, and because it's only 65 degrees, this isn't very hot for me to pick up with my hands. If it was, I would say please be careful. So I'm gonna put these on this tray. Those are the same flavor. So then I'm gonna take the tin foil to separate it. But I'm gonna put the one that's not the same flavor of seasoning on top. And I just used onion salt, garlic salt, Himalayan salt, and pepper. And it's because I have one child that's really picky, and she doesn't like to have barbecue sauce or a lot of seasoning on things. So we're gonna try that for her, and I'm curious to see how it tastes. I'm gonna run these inside real quick. So I'm gonna come grab the camera. So give me just a moment. All right, those are inside. I'm coming right back down. A lot of times I will just put the tin foil on them while I'm outside. But for the purposes of this stream, I'm going to do it inside. So it'll just be easier for me. So I've got the smoker closed back up to hold the heat in. And then I'm going to turn it up to 225. So while we're wrapping in the tin foil, then it'll start to heat up to the right temperature. Because once we open it up, we're going to try to hurry and keep it on there. Yes, everything's a mess in here. Cannot wait till I get my yard in so I can just deep clean everything. I'm kind of a big freak about it. Like I like all my baseboards cleaned on the regular and all that stuff. All right, I think you'll be able to see me from here. One more lower. Let's see, right? Whether you see what I'm doing and not myself. So before I start this, I've got my little mess of seasonings and spices over there. And I'll show you my trick that I do. It makes it easier after to wipe down, because I'm going to grab my shop vac or the Dyson handheld vacuum. And before I wipe down my counters, I always just vacuum. So I'll take the vacuum to it. No, I don't have to get crumbs everywhere. And then I'll take some sanitization stuff And hurry and wipe that down. I was going to do that in between breaks. I wanted to show you that easy trick because for me, it's very helpful to be able to do that. It makes cleaning really a ton easier. So back in the day when I worked in a restaurant, we always used Windex to sanitize the tables before they changed and went EcoSafe. So I'm going to cover the ribs so I don't get any spray on the ribs while I clean. So I'm just going to spray some of this down. Sanitize the counter. I'm just going to wipe it down nice and good. See how much easier that is to, the camera got all skew-wonkus, sorry. Oh. I almost killed it, guys. I almost pushed the wrong button there. All right, so just wipe it down. And I don't have to worry about crumbs getting on the floor, which I hate. So there we go. So with the ribs, now we're gonna smoke them at, everybody can do their thing different. This is what I've done, and this is what works for me. I'm not a professional. I'm just like food, and I prefer to eat meat that tastes good. Don't do a lot of carbs, and that works for me. And everyone can do their own thing, but I don't know where I was going with that. So when I do the ribs, I start them at 225 for 1 hour. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is wrap them in tin foil. So there's 2 different types of tin foil you can get. Can you see the difference? So I always buy mine at Costco, and it's twice the size. So it'll allow me to take the right length and be able to wrap it up and seal it really good without having to lose any heat in the process. So I'm going to take out a big piece. I've never had to worry about spraying anything. You want the shiny side on the inside. That's what's going to hold the heat in. So we've got our first set of ribs. When we put it on here, we're going to be gentle because there's going to be bones on here. We don't want the bones to poke a hole in the tin foil. So we're just going to go up. I'm going to wrap it up. It doesn't have to be, it just needs to be good silk. So you're just going to wrap it down, fold it, okay, and then we're going to wrap it once, and then just fold up the end, okay, just like that. And I'm not going to hit my head on the light that I've done like 1,000 times today. One of these days I'm going to put a big cut on my face. So we're just going to fold it up, and in an hour, we're going to check on them and look for splits. And if it looks like they're starting to split on any of the pieces, then we're going to add butter to them at that point to keep the moisture in. And you can use whatever you want. Some people use the, I can't believe it's not butter spray. I don't. I prefer just to use good old-fashioned butter. I've got these other ribs. So we're sticking bone side down. Fold it in half. Oh, that mesquite flavor right now already. It smells so good. That's already a good smelling flavor. I'm going to fold it just to seal it. It's not too complicated, but the big thing is making sure that the bones don't pierce the tin foil. It's a really good cut of meat. There's like, I guess there's a couple bones up higher, but they're not very dense or big or whatever you want to say that is. And some people like their ribs Yeah, these are pork ribs. So you can get beef ribs. Pork ribs are cheaper, so you can feed a lot more with pork ribs. Tomorrow night, we're actually going to bring dinner to my guy's dad has been sick, and so is his wife. He's, I think, 85, and she's in her 70s, but I guess she has a, kind of get sad here, but she has a tumor on her brain that's not operable, and chemo hasn't worked. And she's already had colon cancer, breast cancer. So this is like the, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just got sad talking about that. I can't believe it. Usually I'm tougher than that. But so we're going to go bring dinner to them tomorrow night. And I'm actually going to look and see, help him weed his garden and put some flowers out because he really enjoys flowers. But he's been taking care of her. And so he hasn't had time to do all that stuff. So I'm going to go help him out tomorrow. So we're going to bring them dinner. And these ribs, they warm up really well. When I warm them up, I either stick them in the oven or I use the air fryer. I don't use a microwave to warm up any meat, but that's just me. I don't like the flavor. But anyway, so give me 1 second, and then we're going to bring these outside. So 3 secs. See my microphone right there. So you know I'm leaving for pause for 1 sec. Not a mic. I'm not leaving. So I got my mic back. I lost my shield just recently. That goes on top of this. I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for it. I know it was on earlier, so hopefully that's not gonna blast you too much. What I'm gonna do, hold on, I think I have a spare for it. So give me 1 second, okay? Don't know if I knocked it off when I was doing something outside. You guys will have to let me know if that wind's obnoxious. I think I have a spare I can put on top for now. I'm sure it's on the ground somewhere. Oh, there, I found the spare. Hopefully this will stay on until I can find something else because I just need the wind to be blocked while I'm outside. Okay, there we go. That's going to have to hopefully work. Sure, I'm going to find it on the ground somewhere. Oh, I think I did. Nope, that was a lie. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Look at my messy hair. The life of a woman. People think that we have this whole feminist bullcrap going on right now, but there's a lot to be done every single day. And being a homemaker is fun. So I'm going to take the camera down first because I can't carry both at the same time. And one of these days, I'm going to pay one of my kids to be my camera person. But they're shy like I am. You wouldn't think I'm shy. I work really hard to not be shy, but I'm still that way. Cookie, you could come over. You can have some ribs. Think salmon sounds like a great job. All right, so here's the camera set up. I'm gonna go inside and grab us some ribs. And then afterwards, if you want to hang around, I'm gonna go back out to the pond. Oh, I can't get my hair too close to that. I'll singe all my hair off. I'm gonna go back out to the pond. It should be dry now, so we can put the liner on, and then I can finish cleaning it out and get the rocks set up and get the flowers planted, which will be fun. If you want to join, that'd be great. So I'm gonna leave this closed until I grab. I'm gonna leave it closed until I grab the ribs, and I'm gonna hurriedly put them in there because I want to keep the temperature at a pretty constant while I'm doing so. So bear with me. And so from now on, while I'm grabbing, when I check on the ribs, I will pull them out one at a time so that the heat will be maintained inside the cooker. All right. So every time you check on them, you want to do a cursory look and make sure that my temperature gauge is not flashing down below. If it flashes down below, it means that it's turned off, but it's still reading the temperature. So it's staying stable. My pellets are 3/4 the way full, which means I don't have to worry about adding pellets. So we've got our ribs up here. Then I'm going to gently set them on here because I don't want to puncture the tin foil, because that's what's going to hold that moisture in as they cook. I actually like cooking ribs because most of the time I can multitask and do other things while they're cooking. And so I'm going to put these on here. I'll actually rotate every hour. I'll rotate their position so that they cook evenly. But forgot to hurry and close that. So you want to keep it closed. And so let's see what time it is right now. It's 4:36 Mountain Standard Time. So at 5:36, we're going to come out and check and see if they're splitting. And if they're starting to split or crack at all, it means they need like butter or some kind of a fat. I use butter. You can use what your preference is. Anyway, so that's done. So we're going to go back in the backyard. And I'm going to breathe very easily. And I got the pond liner stuff ready to go. Still looking for where I put where my headset thing fell off at. Hopefully that one stays on. Oh, stop. Want to say hi? You want to say hi? So can you see you? I can't see you. Where are you? Turn. Walk around. Come say hi. He's still learning how to navigate the yard this summer. He's so sweet. Come here. Oh, stop. Don't get so excited. Come say hi. Come here. Come say hi before we clean the pond. Come here. Come. Listen, no, stop. Stop. Over here. Over here. Come here. They want to see you. They want to see you. See? Say hi. Is a good boy, huh? He's smelling that meat all day and he's going crazy. He's salivating because I changed him to like an all-meat diet 5 months ago, and his life is completely different. He doesn't get sore. He sleeps better. He stops snoring. So he's just like humans. They need good food. All right, so we've got the pond over here. If my audio cuts out, guys, please let me know. And hopefully the neighbors don't start playing music so I can keep streaming tonight. I don't have the heart to tell them that I can't have music for YouTube. So I'm just trying to see where I can position this to where you can see what I'm doing. I think that I want you to be able to see what I'm doing without having to move the camera 1,000 times. So just be patient for just a second. And if I was a traditional streamer, this would be easy because I would have a lab, I'd have a studio, I would have the lights, the everything. So this is an experiment to see if this is something that's going to work, and it may not, but I enjoy sharing this with you guys. It's a different perspective on different things. Let's see. If I can move a couple of rocks in the upper pond, I might be able to position this to where you can see me and I can not have to worry about moving it 1,000 times. I think that's gonna work. Can you see the river? Let's see, let's try one more spot. Bear with me, guys. So, did I say 5:36 to go check the ribs? I hope that's what I said. I need to remember what time, because I need to check them at the right time. Oh, I wish you guys could hear the birds in the background. I have a condenser mic and it cuts a lot of the background sound out, but it's pretty cool. Let's see, can you see that? Oh my goodness. Just knocked a rock over. Okay, let's try this again. Special spirit here. It's crazy. I can hear the birds chirping. It's so cute. Oh, hush. You're fine? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you, huh? Don't be rude. Why do you think you gotta be barking like that? Huh? Oh, is the dog outside from the neighbors? Yeah. Poor thing. All right. I think this is going to be better than the way we had it set up earlier. So this way I shouldn't have to move it around. So you can see the liner over there. Perfect. That's what I want you to be able to see. So earlier when we were out here, I was explaining, last year I used a knockoff tape to seal my liner down. So I am suffering the consequences for being impatient and not waiting for it to be delivered, because for whatever reasons we had delivery issues last year. Not sponsored by Gorilla Tape whatsoever. This is just a product that I prefer to use. You can use it on your roof, your doors, your windows. You can use it in your water, and it's instantly waterproof. So I don't have to wait for it to dry or to seal before I can fill it with water to see if there's any kind of an issue. So that makes it perfect. And before I forget, I gotta take my apron off. So I had already prepped during our first stream. I already prepped the lining. So I cleaned it really good. We're just gonna see what we have. And sometimes I have to redo this a couple times to get it right. But I want to make sure there's a good fill, because I don't want to waste water. Wasting water is not everything. I have a small yard. I try to utilize everything and be as conscious and aware as I can of the environment. I have my scissors and my special tool. It looks like it's dried really well on this side. I take my mic off again. Oh. So I just explained all of that again, because in the first show, I forgot to explain all that because I'd left my mic on my apron. And once again, I just did the exact same thing. So, goodness, don't dye your hair blonde, okay? It's not a good look. Just kidding. Oh, this water feels good, in case you wanted to know. So we're going to work over here. So this is my waterfall. And I run a filter all the time. So So even though we're in a filter, it'll fill up all the way and then it'll run down the stream and it filters the water from the bottom through the UV light and charcoal, all that stuff, and then it dumps it back into the upper stream and it repeats. So I have to make sure that there's no leaks going from the top stream to the bottom stream to not waste water. And it sounds silly, but I don't want to waste. It makes it more efficient and easier if I don't have to fill up the stream. So this tape on this side is just like a little film. I actually left it in the sun, which is going to make it a little bit more tacky and easier to use. So this could either be single-sided or double-sided tape. If I wanted to take the top black piece off, then I could use it as a double-sided, but I only want to use it as a single-sided tape. You see how that films there? So I'm going to take it and I'm going to try to seal. I want to have a seal on the bottom. It doesn't necessarily have to be huge. And if I run into a spot where it's not going to curve well, I'm actually going to cut it and I'll piece it. So right there is about where it's going to end. So I'm going to take my scissors where that film is. I'm going to cut it. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. If you can't, let me know. I'll try to adjust the camera. I'm trying, want to kind of not adjust the camera as little as possible. So that's got a really good seal. See how it's stuck? Originally, a couple years ago, so 2 times ago, I used this tape. And last time I did not. I bought a knockoff. But the first time I bought it, it came with this tool where you can seal it down really good. And go through and just seal it down really good. And so far I can tell, dog, stop. But it's sealing really good for me. And I want just a nice good seal so water's not going to leak out of it. And so last year we replaced this liner because some rocks had fallen and kids had stepped in the pond and they caused like little pinholes. But those little pinholes still allow water to leak. So that's got a really good seal. So leaving it in the sun and letting it heat up caused it to be more tacky, which is amazing. So now, right here, I want to add just a little bit more. I'm going to dry it off. I just sat in water. I didn't pee my pants, guys. I sat in water. Over here and grab this towel if it's still, and just get it dried off just a little bit. I'm being careful because there should be a couple of fish in this pond still, but I'm kind of thinking that the big snakes got to them. The snakes, partner snakes, love to eat my fish. Make sure that dries really good. Okay, that's got a good, it's really dry through there. Right here, I used this what was it called? I'm trying to think what it was. It was like a silicone caulk, but it was meant for ponds. I have the name and I have the tube. I'll show it to you. But for the pond and the winter, it doesn't work well. See how it just peels off? So I only need for the tape to stick on this bottom piece. So I'm not so worried about the stuff in between, but I'm just going to kind of peel back. Because as long as this other stuff sticks good, I don't need to pick that stuff off. And I didn't mean to peel. I was hoping to leave this on there, and I should have, because it makes it easier. So I'm going to get gradually peel back that film. There we go. It's easier if you keep the film kind of held back like this. And then kind of move it. I'm going to kind of adjust that camera so you can see where I'm working at, guys. By the way, I appreciate everybody who is here watching right now and commenting and enjoying this stream. I know there's lots of options you have, a lot of places, a lot of people you could be watching, but I do appreciate you. And it does mean a lot that you're here. Hold on, just one more little, I think that'll work. Let's try that. All right, there you go. And this water feels really good on my feet today. So I'm going to kind of overlap it a little bit because there's a little bit right there that I want to seal off. And I'm worried about that other stuff I used last year. So as I'm pulling that away, I'm holding that film down, which makes it a little bit easier. There we go. I really like this stuff a lot. Like whoever, I think, if I remember right, I think Gorilla is owned by 3M. I could be wrong, but they make a good product. So I'm gonna take this tool, I'm gonna seal it down really good. So if there's any like nicks or scratches in the actual liner, I'll actually patch it with this stuff as well. Hopefully there's only a couple of pinprick holes in there. Trying to make sure I don't slip on the moss that's in this pond here. Trying to see where I put the circle. Oh, it's still on the bottom. See how there's that there? Stood up a little fast, got a little lightheaded. So I'm going to go and seal this down again real quick. You see what I'm doing with the sealer? I hope you can. So I'm just sealing it down really good. And honestly, if you can leave it out in the sun and let it warm up, it works a million times better. Just that heat. It's kind of like using a hot dryer when you're connecting fuses for like electrical work and stuff. It's just that heat that makes it more tacky. And I can see everywhere that it's sticking down really good. And I do want to overlap that right there again. So I'm actually going to dry it off and make sure that it doesn't have any debris or dirt on it, because the debris and dirt will make it not stick as well. And so when this pond fills up, it will go as high as here, and then it'll leak down this way. So I want to make sure up in here is sealed down really good. Oop, there's a bug. As long as it's not a black widow spider, go nuts. I'm hoping you can see all right what I'm doing, guys. Let's just give that just a second to breathe and dry. Step out for a sec. So everywhere where you see that liner right now, it'll actually be covered with rocks. We have like some big boulders and stuff. But they'll be covered with rocks, so you won't see those seams. They'll just be like big sheets of rocks like this. So like they'll be like slate rocks that'll line the whole inside of the pond, which will make it look really natural. And then I have lights that shine down in the pond. There's a light underneath this rock, and there's lights that will shine up to the stream and stuff, and it looks really cool. So anyway, I don't know if there was someone new that I just saw in chat. So I'm not able to see chat like typical streamers can, just because I'm streaming from my phone. So Joseph Matta, welcome to my show, or my stream or whatever. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you'll enjoy. It's all random stuff. It's everything from talking about coins to garden stuff to tips and tricks about cleaning, things to make things easier so that you can have pretty environment, pretty house, or whatever with less time. There are things that I've learned along the way, or things that I'm like, oh, I wonder if this works. So I appreciate you being here, and I hope to see you in the future. And if you have any suggestions, topics, or anything you want to talk about, let me know. I don't have all the answers. I'm a person. All right, once I catch my breath, I'm going to climb back into there and finish that last little piece. And then I'll check some of the other seams. And then hopefully, before I clean it, I'll actually test it with water. And then once it holds water and is not leaking from anywhere, then I will take the pressure washer to it and just clean all the moss and all the rocks really good and then fill it up. So I always start with my upper pond and stream, and then I migrate to my lower pond because everything flows downward. So then I'll clean the stream out, move all the rocks out of the stream, and then I'll clean the lower pond, if that makes any kind of sense. Are you guys doing okay? I'm gonna take my mic off and don't let me forget where I put it because I have to go potty real quick and I apologize for that. I guess I drank too much water today. So I'm setting it there so I remember that I'm not recording myself. Please don't go anywhere, but I'm not going to talk for a sec, so I'm going to be silent. I guess I need to do what others do and have a song. I don't even know what songs. I'm putting my mic back on, guys, so I don't lose it. Making sure that it's powered on. Yep, I can see the power. When I have to take a second break, sorry, I am a girl. I have to go all the way inside to go to the bathroom. All right, make sure. Okay, there's my scissors. So we're gonna get back in here. See this stream. I am so excited to show you guys what this stream's actually gonna look like, or this pond's gonna look like. It's pretty cool. See if I missed any messages while I was gone real quick. Anyway, so we're almost done with this little river part here. But since I have this pond drained like I do and dried out, I'm just going to reinforce. I will also reinforce some of the other things just to make sure they don't leak. I'd rather do it now instead of having to drain it. Also, I got 2 of this Gorilla Tape on Amazon. So it's 10 feet. It's 10 feet long by 4 inches. And it cost me $15 for 2 of them. And it did take 10 days to get here, but it was still the cheapest I got, and I decided to be patient with it. So, like I said, I've used this. Originally, I used this the first time I patched my pond when it had leaks. But let's see if I can, don't want to waste a lot of this stuff. You could cut it in half if you wanted to, but I make it 2 inches or 3 inches. But I'm just trying to get maximum coverage on here. So, sorry, you probably can't see that one as well. So I'm going to overlap the other one just a little bit. I'm going to backtrack that film piece so that it has good coverage. The mistake I've made, oh, see, I just did that. Oh, I did get all the film. In the past, I've cut through, I think my alarm is going off. Hold on. I have my phone on Don't Disturb, and I don't know why Don't Disturb doesn't turn my alarms off, but apparently it does not work that way. So, anyway, so the film, if you cut through the film or without the film, it's really tacky on your scissors. So that's why I do it that way. You can do however you decide to do it, but I've learned that that's just easier. And this stuff, especially if you leave it in the heat a little bit, is really tacky. And usually this pond is done by Memorial Weekend because I like to have all my flowers in and I like to be able to sit out here and enjoy it. But with the cold this year, my flowers aren't quite ready to bloom. Usually my tiger lilies have bloomed by this weekend every other year. So they're behind about a week. So I guess I'll be okay. But come Father's Day weekend and after, I want to have my yard in maintenance mode to where all I have to do is check on plants, making sure they don't have any disease, and then start focusing my time on other things like exercise. Oh, that's what else I didn't tell you. So exercise tips and tricks. So I was a personal trainer for 18 years. And I don't believe in balls to the wall workout. You've got to kill yourself. I believe in consistency, finding foods that work for you and finding things that work for your body type, because people say all the time that I have big legs, I have this or that, but it's finding out what works for you and for your body. And everyone's different. It's not one size fits all. So you have to figure out what those things are. And so as a personal trainer, when I did it years ago, I focused on, training someone for at least 18 weeks. And in that time, we track diet, nutrition, and that type of thing. And we figure out what works for you and your body type and your lifestyle, whether you're on the go. It's finding things that are going to work for you. And you can hear 1,000 people tell you how you should do something, but at the end of the day, it's like, what's going to give you maximum benefit? So, as you guys all know, we're cooking ribs today. And when I cook ribs, this is what I do, especially for a Sunday, and when I have a lot of tasks to get done. It's multitasking and, cooking a great meal at the same time as getting things done. And I'll tell you this till I'm blue in the face, that I appreciate every single person that decides to show up and be here, because it makes it fun, and having a conversation makes it fun. If you have questions, though, you can always leave a comment. People say, oh, I read the comments every day. I literally read my comments 2 or 3 times a day, and I try to comment on things. So if you have questions, please let me know. So right here on this top, it didn't stick very good. So I'm going to wet that down a little bit. There's a little bit of that. So what happens with algae, so all that white stuff is algae that's dried on. So I'm going to scrape that off with my fingernail. And I'm going to allow that to dry for a minute. And then I'm going to put just another little piece of tape up there, because I don't want the water to gradually seep down and break apart that sill. I want a good initial first sill on there. When I went to the restroom, I forgot I was going to tell you that. So in the bottom part of this pond, there's actually a sump pump, and I'll have to look and see what the exact model is. I don't know if it's 125 horsepower, but so what happens is the sump pump is piped up. It runs through the ground to the upper part where there's two rivers that split off, and then we have like a waterfall that drains into the upper pond and then goes down the river, and it repeats it. So it's not a hard, if you're someone who ever wants to build one of these, they're not hard to do at home. And if it's something you're interested, I could try to explain the process. It doesn't have to be expensive. Using the correct liners and that type of thing is the most important part. There's some liners that have like little fibers that go through them. And those liners, in my opinion, are the worst, because those little fibers break down with the sun, and then you end up with little pinholes, and they don't work as well. So you'll spend more on a liner, but you'll save more money in the long run. And last year, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was pandemic, China, I don't know what it was, supply chain, but I could not find the regular liner anywhere. So I'm hoping that I can get at least one more year out of this liner and then buy that other liner, which is, it's more expensive, but it'll save you time. So you can decide what your priority is, time or money, right? All right, so I've got the upper one sealed down. So underneath this one over here, where these rocks are, I know those rocks don't stay there, is another piece of the pond where the waterfall is. And I didn't clean that off because I felt like it was sealed pretty good. So I might just clean that off now with a towel. Actually, I'm going to use a scrubber with vinegar on it. So this is a scrubber that's for ponds. Found it at the pond store. I'm going to put some vinegar on it. I'm going to scrub it. I'll let it dry, because I think about that time, after we're done with this, it should just be about time to go and check on our ribs. And try not to get that vinegar on the grass, because straight vinegar will kill your grass and plants. So don't put it in things where you don't want things to die. So I'm just going to kind of scrub down here. So a couple of weeks ago, I actually went through and I pressure washed all of this stuff, which is what I'll do like 2 or 3 times a year. In the past, I used to have to do every week, and within like 2 days, it was already green and mossy. You couldn't see the fish. So I don't know what I was saying. I just lost my train of thought. I just had a complete ADD moment. So, and I guess I was saying that I had this sprayed off a couple weeks ago, and it's already, I bought a pond filter. It wasn't very expensive. It was, I think maybe $99 or maybe even $125. So it wasn't very expensive, but it made it so that I only had to clean my pond 2, maybe 3 times a year. And that was only to get the algae off the rocks, so that the water was really clear, but there was algae on the rocks. So for me, that investment saved me so much time. And if you have a pond and you want to have a pond, I recommend getting one. I have 3 turtles. I'm sorry, I'm just checking my messages real quick if I missed anything. I still need to make you a mod when I get off this stream. So I'll take a break after we check on ribs, charge my phone, and I need to make you a mod. I appreciate you being here. Kyle, appreciate you being here. I hope that your uncle and your family, or your aunt, obviously your uncle's not doing okay, but I hope everybody is well. And I hope that's okay to say on here. But I wanted to let you know that I've been thinking of you, and I think that loss is hard, no matter who it is, and other things can be difficult. So I don't want to say much more than that because I don't know what you're comfortable with me saying. So, oh no, I will do it in between because I'm gonna take a break when I charge my phone, and I'll just do it from my computer. So it's not a big deal. But if Mike's busy or if Freedom's busy, I need to make sure that I have at least one mod on that's here and hanging out. So I appreciate you. Gotta look at the, I guess I came up with the time too. I gotta check those. Okay, it's been 55 minutes. Okay, so I got 10 more minutes before we have to go do that. So if you have a pond, they're not hard. And if you invest in a filter and you make sure that there's no leaks where you're wasting water, they're really fun. I have 3 turtles. I used to have two koi at the start of the summer. They're both gone now. My huge koi got taken by, I'm pretty sure, a gardener snake. Very sad day because I had him for 3 years and he was like this big. So it was pretty fun. But I lost my foamy thing off of this thing as well in the water. Let's dry that guy off. So hopefully there's not a lot of background noise. Maybe I should turn this around so you can see. I'm just going to talk to you from here because you guys saw how I did the first one. Now I'm just going to go through. I don't think I cleaned this top one like I did the bottom. Just going to scrub it real quick. As long as there is a good seal on the top and bottom, it should be pretty okay. I'm just going to go through and double check here. We'll let this one dry once I'm done here. So I'm actually going to get some more vinegar on here, and I'm going to let it kind of dry, got most of the dirt off of it. All right, so this one to my right, which is this direction, to the left, is pretty dry. I'm going to put just a little bit of rubbing alcohol on there. And if you were here the first stream before we took a break, I used 91% alcohol, 91.3, because it has a quicker dry time. So it kind of like evaporates pretty quickly. So I'm just going to douse it up top and making sure that none of that alcohol gets into the actual pond down here, because I don't know if there's fish living yet. I haven't seen any. I'm pretty certain that the snakes got them. And part of sealing off of this plastic too is they actually gradually break it away and kind of like work their way through the plastic, and so do plants and ants and other bugs. But they'll break a hole through so that they can come through and sneak their way down slyly and snag the fish. And the gardener snakes have a venom in them that paralyzes the fish for up to 15 minutes, which I didn't know this before. We used to find snakes in the wild and bring them home because they were fun to watch in the pond. Don't do that. They eat your fish, but they eat your mice and your rats. So what do? I guess you could buy $10 fish, 10-cent fish and not expensive fish, and keep the snakes around and replace the fish as the snakes eat them, because that's definitely an option. So, and that's probably what I may do this year, because I do get a mouse problem and they do eat my vegetables in my garden. So, especially my tomatoes, which who would have thunk? All right, should we go check on those ribs and see how they're doing? So when we go out to the front, we're actually going to open the tin foil and look for splits in the meat. If they're starting to split at all, we're going to add some butter. And then we're going to reseal them and increase the temperature for another hour. So right now they're cooking at 225 degrees. Excuse me 1 second, I'm just taking a drink of water here. Yesterday was so cold that I literally had a hoodie jacket on, and now today I'm like sweating outside. Check the health of my phone real quick. Oh, we're at 62%, which isn't too bad. Just don't want to have any internet disruptions like we've had. I'm gonna go see how these, can't wait for these ribs. They're gonna be so delicious. Can't wait for my yard to be on maintenance mode. That's gonna be heaven. It'll be there. So all the plants that I plant, I do them all in containers or baskets other than in my garden, so that there's little weeding, there's minimal, there's just making sure they stay watered. And I line all of my baskets with plastic with holes, the ones that have the, oh, what's that stuff called on the outside? I'm having a brain fart. But there's the stuff that looks like a, looks like moss that's dried out, that kind of a basket, you know what I'm saying. But all of those are lined with, I take a garbage bag and I cut them to fit, and then I cut holes in the bottom so they would drain, and then I zip tied them to the metal frame of it so it would stay in place. So that way, because I like the look of that type of basket, but it doesn't hold the water in. So I wanted to have both, so I line it with the plastic. And I haven't it's been 4 years now. I haven't had to replace the plastic. Shocker there. Plastic lasts forever. All right, we're going to take a look at these ribs. I'm going to get the camera kind of close here. Now, once we take a look at these ribs, we're going to take another break. So I'm going to charge my phone, my headset, you know, what else. So we're going to look at these very quickly, okay? I'm going to be careful not to tear. And you probably should wear gloves. But I'm not, because I didn't bring them out with me. So I'm looking, and I'm starting to see a little bit of split right there. So I'm going to run inside right quickly, which I should have done before I opened this. So I'm not going to cover that up all the way. But I'm going to run inside real quick and grab some butter to fortify that. You don't want the meat splitting. That's when the moisture will start to leak out. So is what I'm told. I'm not a professional. On my butter, I'm wondering where my kids or somebody put my baster. So I have a silicone baster that's really cool. It makes it really easy to apply. I wonder if someone threw it away. One of my kids is OCD, and he would have thought it was maybe gross and chucked it in the garbage. All right, okay, I'm coming back. So at this phase, so this is going on hour 3. So it's been 2 hours, 1 hour smoking and 1 hour in tin foil. I did not add butter when we did the tin foil. So I'm gonna go through here, put butter on my spatula. I'm just gonna add butter really good to the top of this. So we're gonna cook this for 1 hour, some butter on it. And because I have different flavored, I have 3 ribs in here, I'm actually going to rotate these. So I'm going to rotate this one to the back burner, or this one to the back burner. And move this to the side. And if I cause a split, which I did, I'm actually going to reinforce it. I'll go inside and reinforce this one with tin foil. So I'm going to turn it so the juice is leaking out right now. And that happens. It's not the end of the world, but you don't want your juice leaking out. That's what's going to get tender. So this one I want to check real quick. I guess I went inside and I should have grabbed, oops, don't throw that too far. That's not looking too bad. I'm going to add butter anyway. It's a good flavor. Just going to put that on top. got some really good juice going on in there. So we're just going to wrap this up nice and good. I'm actually going to move this one to the top rack. So move this to the side. And this one I'm going to move to the back because that's where the heat's going to rise the most. Whew, that one's a little hotter. Hold on. I just know just now when I look at that, I just caused a split. So I'm going to have to go inside and get some more tinfoil because of the way I grabbed that. I should have had gloves and picked it proper. So these are a good thick cut of meat. Got all 3 of these ribs for $26 at Costco, and they're huge. All right, so we're gonna leave this one here. I'm just setting them up while I go upstairs. So this one, I don't think this one has a leak. So I'm gonna quickly and stupidly move it to the top rack without gloves. Hold on. I don't want to create a hole in this one. There we go. So we're just rotating these around. I'm going to close this back up and we'll drop 2 pieces of tinfoil. Pizza sounds good. Actually, I lied. Ribs sounded way better. Pizza's good, but my ribs sound way better today. I have pizza about once every 6 months. And anyway, hopefully without my foam thing on my mic, it's not too annoying. I actually dropped it off into the water. I'm going to go dry it out in a sec. So I'm coming up here to grab some tinfoil and some gloves so I don't burn my hands and wreck it like I just did. And then we will take a break for 30 minutes, recharge phone and headset because unfortunately, because I stream outside, it's hard to have a computer out here. So that's going to be our process. If you want to come back, you're welcome to. And we'll finish these ribs up and decide which flavor we like the best. So I've got a supersized tinfoil. Just trust me. Buy supersized tinfoil for when you cook ribs. It makes it a lot easier. I'm actually going to stick it on a pan instead of the actual grill. Okay. So this is what you do when you create a leak. So I'm going to move this to the side. If I create another one, it's not a big deal. I'll set this down. Okay. Try to get the other one out of the way. Watch that. Take my gloves, and I'm just going to replace that real quick. Alright, so we got that there. I'm just going to reseal that bottom. You don't have to replace it. I do, because I think it makes it more tender. I want to keep all that juice inside. There we go. Okay, so rotate this sideways. And then we're going to take this rib that's not destroyed, and we're actually going to put it here. And we're going to get another piece of tinfoil. I'm going to let it this direction. There we go. If I would have been smart and had gloves, they probably wouldn't have tore because I could have grabbed them and worked them out like that. Woo. See all that juice? That was just poured out everywhere. We want that juice to stay inside. There we go. And move these around. This one's going to go in the front. And this other one's going to go in the back. And so I typically don't want to leave the grill open this long, but stuff happens. They'll recover. They'll be okay. We didn't leave them unsealed for too long though. So we'll put that one in the back. I'm going to grab this other one gingerly with my gloves, and we're going to put this in the front. And so when we come back, we'll rotate it the exact same way as we just did. I'm going to close that up. I'm going to turn it all the way up to 250. Not in a hurry to cook these ribs. They'll get done when they get done. But I'm going to give you guys all a break and if you have any errands or anything to do, get them done. We will take 30 minutes. We'll go back out to the pond. We've got 2 pieces of that liner to finish. Then it should be time to check the ribs and add some butter, and then add whatever extra sauce is for 1 more hour. And we'll check their tenderness. Like, they should be cooked all the way through in 1 more hour. They might be now. So it just depends if you want fall off the bone ribs, or if you want ribs that are more meaty. One day I'll make you some food. I'll invite you over and we'll have a big barbecue, big block party. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to charge my phone, and I'm going to charge my headset just to make sure. So I will see you in 30 minutes. Okay, see you soon.